Say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power.
And a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
They both hit hard. Because and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith analyze Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Although he advises caution, Stephen A. believes Crawford will win by decision, bringing to mind Gervonta Davis's caution that Crawford might face consequences if he decides to participate excessively. Stephen A. thinks Crawford needs to focus more on defense, speed, and ring IQ than on exchanges because of Canelo's inherent size and power advantage. The analysts point to strategy as the decisive element rather than strength.
Greatness. And a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
And that's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble, and I'm not sure it was him, but I think it was him. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight.
Max Kellerman observes that Terence Crawford has a technical advantage because his skill set seems more refined overall. He draws attention to Canelo Alvarez's robust chin and broader physique, which naturally provides strength in exchanges. However, Canelo has seen a minor decrease in recent outings, becoming less dominant and sharp than in the past. The bout is framed as a contest between timing and durability because of the contrast between Crawford's skill and Canelo's size and fortitude.
A great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford.
Okay.
But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guy.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Canelo's power, so who I would assume Canelo has the
You'd have to think, unless Crawford was on a knockout streak until he moved up to junior middleweight and then failed to stop Madrimal.
Renowned boxing expert and former champion Antonio Tarver has publicly backed Terence Crawford while still recognizing the enormous challenge this fight poses. Tarver says Crawford has shown himself time and time again between weight categories. However, this battle is very different. He emphasizes that Canelo Alvarez has never really faced a battle like this before, and it is also Crawford's hardest test.
You know I'm Bud County all the way, but this is going to be the toughest fight, the best fighter Bud has ever been in the ring with. And arguably, this could be the best fighter Canelo has ever been in the ring with. We'll find out which one is which on September 13th.
Antonio, I appreciate your time. Safe travels back home.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio.
Known for having a high boxing IQ, Timothy Bradley Jr. thinks the first round of Canelo versus Crawford will be a methodical affair. He believes that early on, neither fighter would take any needless chances and will instead use the round to study movement, timing, and openings. Bradley claims that Crawford is particularly patient before setting traps in major fights because he prefers to see what his opponent has to give. However, Canelo has also demonstrated a propensity to feel out the distance throughout the opening round and make adjustments as the bout goes on. Bradley points out that because of this chess-like strategy, the opening round will be a tactical information exchange rather than a show.
Crawford wants to feel his punching power as well. You know, in the beginning, it's all the position balance. Like both guys are trying to get balance and trying to find their rhythm. You know, understanding their distance to where they can punch and at the same time avoid getting hit. You know, it takes Crawford a little bit more time than I would say Canelo to get right to it. Canelo, although he is a prolific counterpuncher, fantastic counterpuncher, you know, he tends to find his spots a lot quicker. You know, and the indication of that is when, if you look at any of the boxers that Canelo has faced, Trout, even Danny Jacobs, even when he fought against Charlo, you just check out the first round. You know, he usually takes off, just feels the power, you know, cruises, you know, see what these guys know, couple of feints, level changes, you know, just gathering information, right? Crawford does the same and similar things. So I think the first round's going to be a real, like, calm and cautious round by both fighters. But in the second round, Canelo's going to start applying that pressure, man. Pre-engagement with Crawford is a little bit more difficult than a Charlo, okay? And let me explain this. So pre-engagement is the movements before you get into that sweet spot, which is mid-range, to be able to let your hands go, right? Both guys are trying to counter each other movement. Both guys are looking at each other's, you know, hands, trying to anticipate what they believe is going to come next.
Amir Khan, who has faced both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, offers a unique take on their potential clash. He emphasizes that Crawford has already cemented his legacy as an all-time great, particularly at welterweight, and questions the need for him to take on such a dangerous challenge. Khan warns that weight classes exist for a reason, and stepping up to face a naturally bigger, stronger fighter like Canelo is a serious risk. While he admires Crawford's ambition and sees the move as a bold attempt to silence critics and achieve rare greatness, Khan stresses the potential consequences. He acknowledges that if Crawford succeeds, it would elevate his status to historic levels, but the gamble is significant. Canelo's power and experience at higher weight classes make him a formidable opponent. Ultimately, Khan respects Crawford's courage but makes it clear, this isn't just a fight, it's a career-defining risk that could either make or break a legacy.
And we did all the build-up, they were nothing but respectful. Yeah. I just feel that, you know, in boxing, weight divisions are made there they make him for a purpose. And I highly respect and say pound for pound, the best fighter is Crawford by far, and beats anyone. But when you start putting weight on and you go up a weight and you fight these guys like Canelo, even though Canelo might be now getting a little bit older and might be slowing down a little bit, but he's still going to be very dangerous. That punch power, you're still going to get tagged, you're still going to get hit. You're going to have to spar heavier guys to get ready for that anyway. So you're going to be taking a lot of wear and tear anyway. You're going to have to put adding a few pounds on. Does he need to put that pressure on himself? He's done what no one's ever done before. 2-time undisputed world champion. So why not just enjoy? But obviously you want to go for that next challenge. Now for him, he wants to go for that Canelo. I would advise him not to go for that. Yeah. But if he's the man and he knows how good he is himself. So I can't really say to him that do this or do that. So really,
he believes in his skills. He feels
he believes in his skill. Yeah. We can't answer for him. Yeah. We let him go and do it. You know what I'm saying? And we all might be wrong. Yeah. He might be even stronger than Canelo. He might be stronger than Canelo. He might pack the weight on well. Yeah. That he might do really well in there. So look, regardless,
you fought them both. Like what are the differences between them? Obviously, it's weight.
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit. Very easily. Yeah. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean. Yeah. So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard. Because and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
Tom Laffeler, the promoter, views the event from both a business and a spectacle standpoint. According to him, two of the biggest stars in boxing are Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, both of whom have huge fan bases that span many countries and demographics. In terms of scale, Lafleur contends that very few battles in the contemporary era can match this one. The matchup involves the collision of two civilizations in addition to a skill clash. Crawford became a pound-for-pound champion, while Canelo solidified his position as the face of boxing. It is uncommon to see two boxers of this quality agree to meet, particularly when weight disparities and legacy stakes are involved. Therefore, Lafleur thinks the hoopla is warranted.
High-profile show, it's huge. It doesn't get any bigger than that, and you know, you got to give credit to both guys. They're both very confident. They both have very passionate fan bases. You know, Callum, you know, having fought in Dublin, packed the arena out there, the 3 Arena, having fought at Madison Square Garden 3 times, fought in Boston, and then Fernando Jr., you know, from one of the biggest boxing named families, you know, in the history of boxing. He's going to bring out a huge fan base. So it's a really exciting addition to, you know, such a big show that like I said, it doesn't get any bigger than that for sure.
I agree. I think that you, along with me, have seen some of these criticisms of the undercard. But really, when you look at it, I mean, we both know Callum Walsh so well. The personality and the authenticity that he brings to this sport is just so sincere. He's so real. You know, being from Ireland, coming overseas to train and dedicate his life to this craft, and his personality is so magnetic that it obviously brought someone like Dana White to be a huge supporter of him.
From when the fight got made, I've always fancied Crawford. I just think it's different. I think there's something about him. I think if you add what Crawford's good at, his brain, he can switch. He's very good as a southpaw. His judgment at distance is fantastic. His punch picking is fantastic. He's got good legs. When you add what, and he can pop. I mean, listen, I'm not saying he's got the power to hurt Canelo, but he might have the power to surprise Canelo a little bit and just sting him and just. But when you look at what Crawford does well, and then I look at this version of Canelo, as Canelo's got on, his punch rate's gone down. His feet have never been the fastest, but he's always had good placement of feet. His feet aren't the fastest, and he loads up. And he don't really like boxing at a pace. So I kind of look at that and I think Crawford can manage his way through the fight to win it on points. I think he can manage moments, tough moments. When Canelo detonates a big shot on him, he's going to know about it because Crawford's been hurt before. And Crawford gets hit. He does get hit. That's why he's exciting. But he does get hit. So that means that Canelo could land on him. I just think that Canelo will land a bomb and Crawford knows enough to tie up, to get off at an angle, to get that distance.